Did you really choose out of your own free will to click on this YouTube video today? Or were you predestined to watch this video from the beginning of time? Determinism is the idea that free will does not exist, and that every event, including human actions, is the result of preceding events and conditions, making everything that happens predictable and inevitable. Today we are going to explore the theory of determinism, and by the end you might find yourself questioning just how free you really are. I want you to imagine that you just walked into a movie theater. You sit down and wait for the movie to begin. As the movie starts, you are introduced to an unknown environment with unknown characters and unknown problems to be solved. As you watch the story unfold, you begin to understand the characters and the setting. The experience is a roller coaster of emotions. You feel excitement, but also sorrow, and even some fear and strong anticipation. The movie takes you on a journey, and at the end you reflect on what you gained and what you felt. This movie represents your life. You are the observer, and the universe is the director. Let's go back to square one. Although the movie is perceived as a grand, elaborate story, it is actually nothing more than an illusion crafted for your mind. What you perceive as characters and different scenes is actually millions of tiny pixels following an algorithm to generate specific light waves at precise moments. The sounds are not those of real people or real settings, but a mimicry generated by speakers. The movie is a mosaic of colors and sounds designed to create an illusion that fits a specific narrative for your mind. Now look at life. Do you really perceive life as it truly is? You only have 5 senses, each inherently limited. You perceive only a narrow band of light waves, leaving countless others undetected by your eyes. Even the way color is perceived varies from person to person. Your senses of smell, taste, touch, and sound are also limited. You do not hear as well as a bat or smell as keenly as a fox. Moreover, your perception of reality is not just limited by what you can observe, but also by how you observe and interpret it. In a sense, you live in a dimension that is uniquely your own, which in a sense is far removed from the true reality and nature of the universe. Before you set foot in the theater, the movie's beginning, middle, and end were already completely determined. Every scene and sound effect was precisely recorded and placed in its proper order for you to experience. Not only that, but the way the movie was designed to affect the viewer was also predetermined. There were parts crafted to induce joy, love, anticipation, fear, sorrow, and even disappointment. Even though every moment of the movie was predetermined, you experience each moment as it unfolds and anticipate the seemingly unknown future events of the movie. And that is the essence of determinism. The idea that, like the movie, every event in our lives, including our actions, is set in motion by previous events and conditions. Everything that happens is a result of something that came before it. In this sense, our choices are not truly free, but are shaped by past experiences and external factors. The movie analogy works in correlation with determinism, but how do we know it truly correlates with real life? Determinism's biggest counter-argument is free will. If you are truly free to make your own decisions, then they should be unpredictable, and therefore determinism would be false. Many of the concepts I'm about to discuss are derived from a great video by Alex O'Connor that I will link in the description if you want to explore further. So how can you know if you truly have free will? First of all, we need to define free will. There are many definitions people may use to address free will, but there is only one that truly means you are free and counters determinism. The definition is to have done differently. To explain this, imagine that you're at a grocery store deciding between an apple and a banana. You choose the banana. If we could rewind time to that exact moment without any knowledge of future events, free will, by the definition to have done differently, suggests that you might have chosen the apple instead. Determinism argues you would have always chosen the banana. With this in mind, let's determine if you were really capable of choosing the apple. First, we need to understand why you make decisions in the first place. There are only two reasons you do anything in life. One, because you want something. Two, because you are forced to do something. Now you may think, well, sometimes I do things even when I don't want to. I don't like going to work, I don't like going to the gym, but I still choose to do those things. Shouldn't doing things I don't want to do be on the list? This seems to make sense, but you need to dig deeper. Why do you go to work? Because you want to earn money. You want to provide for yourself and avoid becoming homeless. You want to be able to buy things you like. You go to work because there are things you want that outweigh the want to not go to work. If your desire not to go to work was greater than these desires, you simply wouldn't go. And the same applies for the gym example. If you really think about it, everything you do in life is either because it fulfills a want or because you are forced to do it. If you disagree, I want you to pause the video and really think about it. Now with that out of the way, how does this disprove free will? If you can do whatever you want to do, isn't that freedom? It feels that way, but feeling free doesn't necessarily mean being free. Let me ask you this. Did you choose to want what you want? Or did you discover that you wanted what you want? Let's talk about discovery. Imagine there's a box in front of you, and you do not know what is inside. When you open the box, you discover a book. You didn't choose for that book to exist in the box. You discovered that it was there. Imagine a boy that is given chocolate ice cream for the first time in his life. He has no prior knowledge of it and has never tasted it before. When he licks the ice cream, he discovers that he likes it. He didn't choose to like the ice cream. He tasted it and discovered that it gave him positive sensations. Think of your worst fear. Did you decide that that was going to be your worst fear, or did you discover that it was? A little girl sees a spider for the first time and freaks out in terror. Did she decide to be scared? No. She saw the spider and discovered she was afraid. Now you might say, well, I was once scared of something, but I was able to fight back and overcome that fear. Even though I was afraid, I chose to fight back out of my own free will. But think about it. You discovered you were scared, and you also discovered you didn't want to be scared anymore. You didn't choose, you discovered. Similarly, you won't fully know how you'll react when someone close to you passes away. You'll discover your response. In that moment, you can't choose to feel the emotion of happiness concerning their death. In the same way, if you won the lottery, you couldn't choose to feel sad about it. These emotional responses are determined by factors beyond your control. Now back to the main point. As we clarified, everything you do is because you either want to or you are forced to. We also clarified that you never really choose what you want, but discover it. This discovery implies that our wants aren't chosen by us. They are determined by a combination of our biology and the influence of our environment, neither of which we control. If you are forced to do something, that isn't free will because you are forced into it. But also, as we clarified, if you do something because you want to, that isn't free will either, because you didn't choose your wants, and therefore there is no free will. Now you may say, if I feel like I can do what I want, that is free will to me, and that's fair enough. But if that's your definition of free will, you must also accept determinism. In this case, you might consider yourself a compatibilist. Compatibilism is the idea that free will and determinism can coexist. It suggests that free will is the ability to feel free in making decisions, even if those decisions are ultimately determined by prior events and conditions. One of the strongest arguments for determinism is the concept of cause and effect. Cause and effect is a pretty simple and straightforward principle. It is that if X causes Y, then Y was determined by X. Think of a row of dominoes. If you push the first domino X, it falls and causes the next domino Y to fall, and so on. The falling of each domino is determined by the push of the first one. The principle of cause and effect suggests that any event caused by another event can be predicted based on its cause. Now let me ask you this. Did you choose to exist? Did you choose where you were born? Did you choose your family? Did you choose your genetic makeup? No, you didn't. In this case, you are Y, and your existence was caused by the universe, X. Therefore, by the laws of cause and effect, everything about your life from beginning to end can be determined by the causes that created you. Many studies have explored consciousness, with several pointing towards determinism. A notable example is a study from 2008, which I have displayed on the screen. Using functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, this research analyzed decision-making in the brain. Volunteers were asked to choose between two options and note the exact moment they became consciously aware of their decision. The fMRI results revealed a remarkable finding. Subconscious brain activity patterns appeared up to 10 seconds before participants consciously made a decision, allowing researchers to accurately predict their choices in advance. This compelling evidence suggests that our subconscious mind makes our decisions before we become consciously aware of them, suggesting that free will is a mere illusion. Quantum mechanics is often referred to as one of the strongest arguments against determinism, as it introduces a sense of randomness in the universe. Although a strong argument, there is still a lot we do not know about quantum mechanics, and there are many theories, including the theory of SuperDeterminism and the many worlds interpretation, that make sense of quantum mechanics in a deterministic world. There are ways to interpret it in both a deterministic and non-deterministic way. For now, it's up to you to decide what makes most sense. However, whether the universe is random through quantum mechanics or determined, this doesn't necessarily grant you free will. Randomness doesn't correlate directly with freedom. We can go into more detail on quantum mechanic arguments another day. If you want to go down this rabbit hole now, I have linked in the description some great videos that will take you further into the subject. So if you do not have free will and determinism is our reality, what now? Is your life nothing more than a movie destined to end? Determinism doesn't have to be disheartening. Accepting determinism means letting go of regret, as you recognize that every decision was inevitable. This perspective allows you to focus more on learning from your past rather than trying to change or justify it. It also fosters a sense of empathy, as you realize that people's actions are shaped by events beyond their control. You also become more resilient, as you face challenges knowing you are destined to encounter them. This can transform obstacles into growth. Letting go becomes easier, whether it's material possessions or loved ones. Understanding that their time was predetermined allows you to find peace in their departure. Ultimately, you achieve greater self-acceptance. You recognize yourself as the unique individual the universe created you to be, embracing your path without the burden of regret or the illusion of control. In this acceptance, you find a deeper connection to the world and your place within it. The goal of this channel is to not say what is, but to explore and keep an open mind about deep theories of the universe. Please like and subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what you enjoyed about this video and offer any counter-arguments to determinism. Together we can deepen our understanding of the universe.